home. So joining us is Craig Bolanos from the Wealth Management Group with some tips on how we can school our children at home on finances. Thanks for coming back. Always good to have you.
Thank you.
Timely topic. How important is this for our children?
Well, raising financially savvy children is hard. But like you and I were talking about on break, if we don't do it, somebody else is going to, and I don't know if that somebody else is going to share our values.
Right.
So I think we get the kids started young.
Get them started young. So let's start with that then. At what age should we actually begin?
Yeah, everyone says it's never too early, but it sometimes is too early. I think, we get into first, second grade, those early years, and we just need to make saving fun. And we can still use a piggy bank, but we got to put a twist on it. My version of the piggy bank is it needs to be a clear container, a translucent jar. Think Tupperware. And the whole idea is kids are visual learners. They just want to see the balance grow, and that's what we're trying to create at a very young age.
Okay, and you said first or second grade. Okay, now let's move on then to elementary and middle school. What happens there?
Middle school. Well, middle school, we have the introduction of the impulse buys right away, because it's so easy to download an album to the phone, get an expansion pack to the game. So what we've got to do is we've got to put a twist. We can't do the normal allowance. Instead, we have to pay a wage or a commission for doing a chore, because we need to start linking. You don't get money for free. You got to get off your butt to make a buck. So cutting the lawn is worth X, doing your laundry is worth Y, linking a wage with work.
Did you do that with your boys?
You know what? We started out doing the allowance like everybody does, and I soon realized they weren't vested. They weren't. All of a sudden, when they've got to do things around the house, total game changer on how they spend their money.
Okay, teenagers.
So how do we create contentment? Here I don't have like an easy thing because, it's social media. I didn't have that growing up.
They want everything their friends have and they see it.
And they see it and it's in front of them 24/7. So, how do you teach the kids, that happiness isn't having what you want. Happiness is being content with what you have. I think you just got to start the conversation, because as a financial planner, we see families go off the financial rails all the time, trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I want to at least get that conversation started while the kids are teenagers. And then, of course, they have to get at least a bank account and preferably a checking or a debit card at that age as well.
So what kind of conversation is that then?
I think it's just acknowledging, because, when the kids, as you said, get into middle school, get into those early years, they're going to start seeing where their friends' parents live. What kind of cars they drive, where they go on spring break. And, we just need to teach good old-fashioned family values. Again, what's really important about money, what really matters.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to the college and young adults. Hopefully by then they have some sense of maybe something, right?
They do, but when you send the kids away to college, and we're on the precipice, everyone's going away, I say we're not just going to send the kids away, we're going to send the kids away with a budget. Because when they go away to school, it's the first time that they need to really start telling their monies where to go, as opposed to wondering where it went. We're going to have our first child going away next year. And I tease with him all the time. I say, I know what's going to happen. You're going to end up with 3 weeks worth of money when there's really 4 weeks in the month.
Or maybe 1 week worth of money.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, so what do you do? Because I'm sending mine off, and I've told her to keep track of everything, which doesn't always work. Like, back in the day, you'd say, here's a ledger, write everything down. What do you think the best way to handle that is?
Well, I think here it is. So, the first month or so of school, they should figure out what it's really going to cost them. And then what you should do is get them a free online budgeting app that they can use just to keep track of where they're spending their money on dining out, meals and entertainment, so they don't end up running astray. Because if not, the danger is they're going to have such easy access to credit cards that you and I don't necessarily know about.
That's so
and
true.
we got to keep them away from that.
I can't believe how many applications we get in the mail once they find out your kid's in college, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now are there any particular budgeting apps that you like or recommend, or are there just so many out there we can research and find?
There's so many out there, but I think you don't have to pay for one.
Right? So don't spend the money.
Don't spend the money. Find a free budgeting app that's going to work well with the device or handheld that they're using, and that's what we should go for.
Okay. Advice. Thanks so much, Craig. Appreciate it. I'm going to bear down on my daughter before she leaves in the next few weeks. I talked to Craig. This is what he said we have to do.
Yes.
Okay,
Call me.